What's up guys, Pidget here. I just want to share with you my very cheap farming strategy that I have been doing in the last few days. In 3.28 we got two new scarabs which is going under the radar for many. That explains the very cheap prices of these scarabs. I'm talking about Sinistra and Dextra scarabs. If you're using these two scarabs together, you will not getting any map mod on your map. Normally this is very bad because we want the big quantity and rarity from the maps. I found a very nice strategy that can use these two scarab together. We just add these two scarab to an unidentified corrupted nightmare map and run the map. The map will have around 70% quantity because of the Atlas passive tree. You will drop very often 2 or 3 fragments from the boss. This is where our main profit is coming from. Looks like everyone was wrong about how the quantity affecting the fragment drops, or GGG just reworked in 3.28 how many fragments can drop. These two scarab will eliminate all of the modifiers from the map, so basically you're running a white nightmare map, which is by the way impossible because you cannot scour it. But with these two scarab you can do it and make the boss fight and the whole map much easier, and you can just easily farm any fragments that you want. Either way, running the map is so easy. You ignore everything and just go to the boss, kill it, pick up the fragments and go next. I added to the map Nico for extra damage and movement speed, Hack for even more damage and speed, and the final touch, adding shrines to the maps so we can get nice shrines that will help to kill the web boss. Although your main goal is reach the boss fast as possible, so just pick up what you see while on the way. We're choosing Ziggurat map because the devouring fragment and blazing fragment can drop there, because currently the devouring fragment is the most valuable one, and often you will getting 2 or 3 from a single boss fight that is more than 300 orb profit, by the way. So basically 1.5 divine per map is possible, but sometimes you can get unlucky and you just only dropping like 1 or 2 blazing fragment. The Atlas passive tree looks like this. We using the Atlas passive tree to make the map much easier, even more easier and faster. We adding on this occasion Nico, so when we encountering with a soul fight, we will getting increased damage, movement speed and maximum elemental resistances. I also adding highs to the map, so Hack can appear on the map. Hack will buff you with increased damage, he will give us speed as well. And I also using here more shrines on the map. You can see here I added a shrine, and also when you click on the shrine you will gaining an additional shrine on you, which is also helping very big time. And I added literally every single boss related nodes that you can see here, so we can drop Shaper Guardian, Elder Guardian, Synthesis maps and Sirius Guardian maps as well at the same time, because we will just kill the map boss very often, so we will dropping very often Synthesis maps, Guardian maps. Additional profit is always welcomed. And very important, the big quantity will here and the small quantity will in the middle, because we want more quantity. I think that is helping, but honestly I would be not surprised if I just removing the whole Atlas tree and I running it, I would still drop 3 fragments per map, but this needs to be tested. And also you will need to kill a few monsters, so I dropped a few divines why I just was needed to clear around the shrine, or just around the entrance or something like that, so you will dropping at least something. And for safety measures I added trapping carapaces, because sometimes you will drop a scarab, so it can be the ambush scarab as well, the expensive one, so it's little chance. And also I added here the chittering champions, so basically when you killing the map boss you have a chance to drop an additional scarab, which is also can be good or bad, depends on the value on that scarab that is dropping, but honestly literally is just free loot in my opinion. Now what map you running and how? So basically you want to run Ziggurat map, because currently the devouring fragment which is dropping here is the most expensive one, 110 at that time when the video was made, so it's very profitable. So you basically just put in identified corrupted nightmare map. You can purchase this one for like 15 to 20 KS from other players, and I'm using Scarab of the Sinistral and Scarab of the Dextral for removing all of the prefixes and suffixes from the map, and basically we're running a white map like that, and I adding ether of words to get progression to it, and you know, you were dropping the ether of words invitation, or you can do the searing exile. Depends on the market once again which one is more profitable at that point. Now let's talk about what can drop. Before that, guys, I want to raise your attention, this strategy will not yield you any gold, basically a very low amount of gold per map. So if you are low on the gold side already, I suggesting to you first farm a little bit gold, because selling the fragments and purchasing the maps is costing like 3k per map, and also the like 20 fragments selling on the market is like 23k gold. So if you're running multiple, literally like hundreds of maps, just like I did, you will run out gold very quickly. So you need to farm gold a different way. This is a very important part of this strategy. And drop, by the way, Astrolabs. This is get added this league, and currently the grasping Astrolabs, by the way, it's 300 plus chaos, so literally almost 2 divine worth of this. So by the way, the wealth exile cannot understand this one currently, so in the profit breakdown it will be much lower. Now let's talk about what is dropped and how much. So guys, I ran 20 maps as always. I dropped 23 devouring fragment and 18 blazing fragment and a bunch of guardian maps and a few blueprint as well, because we're doing heist, right? And also a bunch of, you know, map tier 16 maps and guardian maps and so on. But now here is the wealthy exile breakdown. Let me just quickly refresh. You can see here. So here is the breakdown. This is literally where our main profit is coming from the devouring fragment and the blazing fragment, and you can sell this one on the market very quickly, literally. And also you can sell, you know, the blueprints, especially if it's fully revealed. I think around like 60 chaos, and the screaming invitation as well. So there is so many things that is dropping, but majority of your income will coming from the devouring fragment and the blazing fragment. And basically that is the loot breakdown. And so once again, the Astrolabs this Astrolabe is not included on the wealth exile because it cannot understanding it how much is worth. So basically, oh my god, this is almost 400 chaos, so that is means more than 2 divine easily. So we gathered around like 19 divine almost from 20 maps. So if we just calculating without that drop, so we have 16 divine, that is divine by 20 maps, that is 0.8 divine per map. Although guys, after I ran once again even more tests, I came to the conclusion this luck is very average. So there was a few run when I was dropping back to back 3 devouring fragment. So basically, if you're getting lucky, you can get even more. I will be not surprised if it's easily 1 divine per map if you have a little bit better luck. So keep it this one in mind, guys, when you're doing this strategy. And what can I say? I don't know, honestly. This is maybe a bug, or this is how GGG reworked how the fragments is dropping, because I think this should be not possible with literally running a white map and you dropping 3 fragment from a boss. That we was thinking the whole player base, you need like 400 quantity to just drop 2 occasionally and sometimes 3. Although in the past I was doing multiple times boss rushing, and I can say to you guys, majority of the time when I dropped like 2 fragments, it was literally an easier map and not like a very hard map with like 500 quantity. I remember when I was doing it, I had like 500 quantity and dropped 1 single fragment. So maybe this thing was never worked the same way we was thinking. So now with the Sinistral scarabs, we can just literally tell that was not the case, or just GGG maybe done something wrong and it's just bugged. So keeping this in mind and check out very often if it's still dropping, you know, the fragments very often. So normally you will getting 2 or 3 fragments. Sometimes unluckily we getting 1 fragment from a map, but honestly that is very rare occasion. I hope you guys enjoyed this farming strategy video about very cheap nightmare map boss rushing strategy, which is by the way working on every single one. It's up to you which one you want to farm. Till then guys, if you have any question, please leave a comment below, or you can find me on twitch.tv/Pidgeot2. Thanks for watching. I was Pidgeot. See you next time.